So our session is now streaming. So this is the Sprawl. This is session 3 of 3 for this mission-based cyberpunk PbtA RPG. A few more acronyms in there and just go alphabet soup all over. So we are taking up our characters last time, suffered some significant injuries, but we're able to survive. We got some more links on the table for the characters for their connections to one another. What I want to take up today is I want to kind of set a job and let you run with it, because it's kind of a one session, but I want to see how much space I can also give you to do things. One of the things that is an element we haven't introduced yet or haven't done is that when you're doing a big mission, when you're doing a big job, if there's a chunk of the job like, oh, we need somebody to go over here and sabotage this thing. One of the things that you can do is you can actually do that, say, okay, here's our plan, here's what we're doing, and you can actually do that as a role, just a role, and we essentially any of those kind of sub plans. The game has a mechanic for resolving those out, a little bit like a kind of a quick engagement role kind of thing, but actually resolves it out. It's one of the elements I often forget when I come back to this, but if there's at any point you're like, oh, there's this bigger thing I want to set up, like I want to get these traps into place or something like that, we can do that as kind of a sub job in the situation. Let's take up a few weeks after that last incident, and Molly, we're going to clear you of your harm. You can reset your harm clock back down. All of you would have gotten another 4 credit from that job, which is pretty significant. So you have that. So one of the things that you can definitely do with that is you can always use cred to buy things like, say, armor or things like that. I don't know why I'm mentioning that in particular, just putting that out there. But other stuff, there is a role when you buy high-end stuff, but that is out there. Money can be used to do things. Since Bob, you are kind of our fixer is kind of off the grid, as it were. I think that it is Jace that gets called by your fixer, and Miss Nakahara calls you Jace and says, we have a job. It means running against a corp directly, and the timetable is very tight.
Which corp?
RPM.
Them again? What did they do this time?
I need to know that you're at least a little interested before I give you any further details on this.
Depending on what the job is, I can assemble a team of particular specialties. And I'm certain that we can accommodate whatever goal you have in mind.
I know you have at least one person on your team who does not regard RPM well, so I hope that counts as a chip in our favor. We don't have a lot of information.
Okay.
What we know is that we know that RPM is going to be moving something big.
Okay.
Like significant big. The chatter has been tightly encrypted, has been tightly controlled, but we've been able to get bits and pieces out. Whatever they're moving is significant, and they're moving it quickly. We know that whatever it is big enough that it requires a significant transport. We know that they've got a security team assigned to it. And we know that they plan on taking it out via one of the major transports. So at an airport or a launch point or something like that. We don't have many details beyond this. Your friend, the singer,
DJ Snow.
DJ Snow is the person who suggested this because this mission does seem to be a very anti-corp maneuver.
Well, we certainly seem to find ourselves in a fair bit of those.
What we need you to do is figure out how it's being transported, figure out the transport route, intercept it, and deliver it to a second site.
Okay. So you may not have information on this, but are they transporting something that is physically large that requires, say, a large truck? Or are they transporting something small and highly valuable, and the security precautions around it and the scale of the transportation is designed to protect something like a person or a microchip or something along those lines?
I think it could be the first thing you mentioned, but it also might be a third possibility you haven't mentioned, and that be that they're transporting it in a heavy transport because it's so dangerous.
Okay.
We don't know.
Is there any chance that all this transportation is a decoy?
Oh, I'm certain there's going to be decoys. There's no doubt of that. But that's why I'm hiring you, and why I'm telling you you have a tight timetable.
How long do we have?
You have 6 hours before we believe that they are going to take off.
Interesting. All right.
Would you like to take the job? There is a role that is involved in the get the job role. Do you want to check with your compatriots before you accept this job, or Jace, are you pretty firmly of the opinion that certainly this is the kind of thing they want to do?
Well, I'm not just going to volunteer people to jump into something where they could get it killed. So, yeah, I want to check with Squirrel and I want to check with Molly.
Okay. So Squirrel, Jace reaches out to you.
Go for Squirrel.
Got a job that came in.
Ooh, money. Send it my way.
You sure? It's supposed to be, could be big, could be valuable, could be dangerous, lots of security, big transports.
Is it flashy?
The client doesn't know what's going on with it, what they're transporting, but I thought you might be interested because apparently there's a really, really, really big truck.
I'm listening.
You
Oh
ever
wait,
driven?
who's this for? Who's the?
It's from one of our local agents who outsources jobs. Snow recommended us. It's for Nakahara, and we're well, apparently they want to extract something from RPM.
All right. I do like hurting RPM.
Well, and I also figured that getting to drive a rig that big might be something that you actually haven't done before and would enjoy.
I mean, that is true. I'm typically in small. You know what? I'm in. Let's do this.
All right. Okay, then.
Just send me the time.
Well, we got 6 hours to do this, so it's going to be now.
Oh, now. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Babe, you gotta go.
Well, let me reach out to Molly real quick. I imagine she'll be in for this because, I mean, if she isn't, we're kind of screwed.
Oh,
but
hang on one second. Let me grab Trey. Actually, can join us, so I'm going to grab the link. Hang on one moment here. You can go ahead and give the scoop to Molly there.
So Molly, I sent you
Yeah.
some details. Possible job, got to be done in 6 hours. It's against RPM.
Okay. What does it entail?
Well, we're extracting something. It could be big, it could be valuable, it could be dangerous. All the client knows is that it's getting taken out in the next 6 hours. And after that, it's gone. So we have to figure out how they're getting it to their exit point, get it, and then deliver it to a second location.
Does it pay well?
That, honestly, we hadn't gotten that far yet because I wanted to make sure that you were up for the job.
I see. Who are we delivering the stolen goods to?
Miss Nakahara. Do you remember her?
No.
Bob's mentioned her a few times. You know, he's been on vacation for a little bit, so you know, I guess if somebody texted him or messaged him, he just sent them my way. So it's somebody that he's familiar with. I'm aware of her. I think we've done a job for her with Bob's intermediary a couple times in the past.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. If the
All
pay's
right.
right, it sounds good.
Okay. So let me go ahead and pull up that roll for your party link.
Yes. Hey, Trey.
Hey,
Can you hear us?
don't hear anything.
Sometimes it does that.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
A little muffled, but yeah.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and do that roll for your party
Sure.
while we're
When
waiting.
you negotiate the terms of a job, roll with edge.
You know what? I've got an advancer, and I'm going to kick edge up to 3.
That is probably a good idea.
That'll take me down to 7 XP.
Okay.
Glad I did. Got us to
All right,
8.
this has to work.
Yes, we hear you.
Yay. Okay.
Okay, good. So with an 8 on a get the job roll, you choose one from the list.
All right, since this is our last session, do we care if the job pays well, folks? Would we rather have useful assets or useful information?
We want money for sure.
We know what Bob wants.
Yeah.
Well, point being, it's the last session, so.
Then we
And-
want double the money.
This is our one last job.
Dear God, those never go well.
Nope.
I'm definitely buying armor.
Right.
Um,
I'm gonna get out of the racket after this one, right?
Yes. You're 6 days from retirement.
we're too old for this shit.
So what do you think?
I think I'd rather have the intel.
Okay.
I mean, Stephen, I see you nodding.
Okay.
Kurtz gives a thumbs up. You okay with that? All right. We'll go with the useful intel then.
So here's the deal. You know, RPM is going to be sending this vehicle out from their Mexico City site from one of those. Don't know which one yet. Don't know what the vehicle is going to be. You don't know where it's headed to. So right now the legwork is about getting those pieces of information so that you can essentially intercept. So the job tray is that RPM is moving something big. We don't know what it is, but we're going to intercept it. We don't know how they're transporting it, what their security is yet. We're finding those things out, but we only have 6 hours.
Oh, gotcha. Who's our Johnson?
Johnson
Nakahara.
is Nakahara, who you've spoken with before. She contacted you again. She was recommended to you. Snow recommended you for it because it's a pretty anti-corp job.
Excellent.
So Molly, let me start with you on this, and then I'm going to come to Squirrel. Let's check. What would you do? Are you going to buy more equipment for yourself? Are you going to pull up a contact? Are you going to hit the streets for something? What would you do?
So I'm not very good with people.
That's right.
So I'm not sure I know very many people. I might be able to see if I can pull up a contact.
Sure.
So quick question. How
Yeah.
much does cyberware cost? I know there's a move for it.
Oh, cyberware cost quite a bit to get. Let me check on that. So what kind of so cyberware is about 8 credits
Okay.
for a standard piece of cyberware.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for another action.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to name a contact.
Okay.
And this is Naomi.
Okay.
And Naomi hates RPM. So I'm going to ask her if she can help us dig up some dirt. Either she already has, or help us find something in 30 minutes.
And she's like, what's the deal? What's going on?
I don't know any details at this point. That's why I'm asking you. I just need to know, do you have any information about something big going on with RPM?
Let's have you roll. Let's have you roll with Edge, and I'm going to give you a +1 for the contact. That's how I'm going to read this one out.
Okay. Hey, I got a 9 + 1 is 10.
So we're doing this as a kind of a research thing, so you can take intel. And she will tell you what I'm getting through the chatter is that RPM has some kind of big operation set up, and they are sending out 3 vehicles simultaneously from 3 different locations. She'll give you those locations, and she'll say they're different vehicles, like very different ones, as I understand it. And it's pretty clear that at least one, maybe 2 of them are decoys for something. But yeah, they're heading out. Let's say it's noon right now. So they're heading out at dusk at 6 o'clock.
And you don't know which one is the decoy?
No, I don't have that info. They're playing it pretty tight. One of them's a standard heavy wheel Walpurgis donut tanker. Another one's a Constantine J71 ground effect vehicle. And the other one's a Jacquet agile transport tactical rig. So, I mean, different purpose vehicles.
I see.
But she will give you the locations that they are being sent from. Essentially, imagine that there are 3 different RPM facilities in Mexico City, like down towards the hub, and they are sending out a vehicle from each of those simultaneously to try to clearly create chaff.
That sounds perfect.
Okay. Let's come to Squirrel. By the way, with an investigation thing, we always assume that everybody's passed the information on to the other players unless you say otherwise. Squirrel, what are you up to?
All right, cool. So getting that info, finding out what the vehicles look like, I am going to go to my Oyamato streaming, only my premium followers. And I'm going to send out a message that says, what up, squirrel nuts? Listen, there's going to be 3 secret vehicles. One of them is the one you need to find, but I can't tell you which one. So you got to find them all. And I need you guys to work together. And I'm going to just try to get all of my followers to just swarm these stupid cars and tell me where they are.
Okay. Let's have you roll hit the streets.
Okay. All right. Hit the streets. Roll style. And I am not in a car. What is my style? My style is 1. That's not too bad.
Okay.
All right. So let's get this 2 dice. Pick a color here and submit. All right. So 5, 6, 7.
7. So yeah, you'll hit that channel. All of your gold tier Patreon backers are watching the video. It pops up in their feed, and they're getting ready, mobilizing for their flash mob on those sites, mostly to keep eyes on them. So essentially, once all the vehicles leave, you'll immediately have eyeballs on the area. I'm going to need you to pick, though, from the hit the streets thing, 2 of those choices.
Your request is going to cost you extra. Your request is going to take some time to put together. It's going to attract unwanted attention, complications, or consequences. Your contact needs you to help them. Something. If you turn them down, take -1 ongoing on this move until you make it right. Ooh. Okay. So I think my fans have demands.
Okay.
There's some weird flame up thing, and I have to go make good on Twitter before.
There's this thing. They have some questions. They wanted a squirrel AMA, and you've been putting it off, and they need you to go and do that. It's going to eat up some of your prep time here, but they will be willing to do that and help you out. What's the other one?
Let's see. I think it's going to attract unwanted attention.
Okay, that seems more than reasonable to me. Yeah, so I think we tick up the legwork phase based on that. Okay.
All right.
Let's come to Jace, and then we'll come to Bob. Jace, what do you want to do?
I call Molly.
Okay.
Molly, so last time we did a job together, I'm pretty sure that you noticed that I could use some decent to great armor and maybe another gun or 2. Because, you were there.
Yeah.
So is that something you're thinking? I mean, you've got to know somebody, right? You got to know somebody reputable who can kind of get things done.
Yeah, I can probably handle shopping for you. You have the cred?
I've got 10 cred.
Oh, okay. So I will get you something nice.
Particularly on the armor side of things. I mean, I'm not much of one with a gun, so if you're gonna look for something like that, maybe something non-lethal, just in case one of you or Bob or Squirrel get in between me and whatever I'm aiming at accidentally. So,
okay.
I mean, you give me a camera and I'm good, but yeah, definitely the armor.
Yeah, that sounds good. I can help out with that.
So Molly, you want to head down and talk to your people on the street to see if you can get armor pretty quickly here?
Yeah, I'll absolutely do that. I think it's one of those things that I can flash a little bit of money and go to my normal supplier, not someone who, I get the specialty weapons from, but someone who I can get, decent street weapons from.
Sure. This is hit the street.
Okay. And that is with style. Okay. I'm not so good with the style. I rolled an 8 and I got a 0. Okay.
Okay.
So
they're like, well, I mean, if you're really serious, we can get you some body armor. We've got some tactical stuff like police riot stuff, the kind of the stuff with the impact gel hardens when it hits, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You come off your bike at 60 miles an hour, it'll keep you from dying, kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. I need you to pick 2 from the hit the streets list, though.
Okay. So I think I'm going to request, it's going to cost you extra.
Okay.
And it's going to take some time to put together, as long as they get it to us before 6.
Okay. He says I can probably get it there just by 6, but that's going to cost you 5 cred.
Ooh. That's expensive. I'll take yeah, I'll take that. How about if you toss in one of those med packs?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you a derm.
Yeah.
Give you a dermal. But yeah, we can pick up. It's a 2 armor body armor.
Okay.
Pick that up.
Did you get that, Puckett? I'll send it in the chat.
Indeed, I did. Thanks.
Okay.
I was just having problems with mute.
Yeah, no problem.
Bob, what are you up to? You got a tight timetable. Information needs to be got. What are you gonna do?
Well, you know, I seem to remember
Whoa.
this person. Oh, am I too loud?
Oh no, we had a little fritz there on the mic from you.
Oh, sorry.
That's
It
okay.
might have ripped on my shirt. So I seem to remember this guy or this person, leader of a gang, a person I know, which is a move to add a contact, named Garbage Neon, or sorry, Neon Garbage, had that reversed. Neon Garbage, head of a gang.
Don't get that backwards.
Yeah. Amen. He definitely wouldn't take it well. But I know he's in need.
And so what I need is if we can have this realized lady as extra muscle.
Hang on, your mic.
Yeah.
Mike, you're going nuts on us. Sorry. Yeah, it stopped. That was weird.
It's just RPM disrupting communications. I mean,
Yeah, I think so.
isn't that something to be expected?
Yeah, someone's hacking your Gibson.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is this bad?
This is fine. Yeah, we can hear you fine. That is so weird. It's doing this weird like cutout thing with the.
It's almost as if there's a fan blowing directly on the mic from my perspective.
Oh.
Maybe there is a fan blowing directly at the mic. No.
It's this weird feedback thing.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Maybe if you use the onboard mic, but put the headphones in for the sound output, because maybe it's like doing a weird feedback
might
thing.
be that. Okay. We'll come back to you and resolve that.
Put it on mute because of that sound.
Yeah. Now you seem fine.
I put it on mute because of the sound. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Sounds good. Yeah, you're clear
if
now.
If it kicks in again, let me know and I'll mute.
Okay.
Okay.
Let us have you tell me, what is it you want Mr. Garbage, Neon, for his friends, to do for you?
So I want his gang to help us intercept these the transport once we identify it. So I'm gonna have them on communication.
Let's have you hit the streets to convince him that that's what he needs to do.
Awesome.
As with style.
And even if we don't hit the right one, he can keep whatever he finds. You know, RPM always has good stuff.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll the turquoise dice.
Okay.
And it was not beautiful. +2, 7.
Okay. So he You get to pick 2 from the list. What are the sort of the consequences there?
And this was hitting the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Move 1 or move 2? It looks like move 2.
So choose 2 from the list.
Sorry, just looking for the list. Is it move 1 or move 2?
Oh, sorry. It's under moves 1, first bottom of the first column.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oop. Sorry. I had to mute you because we got hit there. Okay. What picks do you want? I'll look in your chat. 2 and 3. So going to take some time to put together and attract some attention. Okay. Let me tick the legwork clock. So again, this is such a tight timetable. He's like, it's going to take me a while to get these people together. We're not going to be that agile when we get on scene, So just keep that in mind. Just need hard hitters. Okay. All right. It says, he says, well, which one? I mean, you've got these 3 locations. Which one do you want us to hit? Do you want us to hit the tanker, the ground effect vehicle, or the tactical rig? Okay. We'll take the tanker. Oh yeah. That's a Walpurgis Dono tanker. That's a big boy. Yeah. We'll hit that. Okay. Let's swing back around to Molly.
Okay. So I have a question. I just want to catch up a little bit. Number 1, the hard hitters are going to hit the tanker, but we don't know which one of these is the real thing, do we?
That is correct. You do not know that yet.
Okay, so that's important to find out. I also want to get some equipment. I think I'm going to focus on equipment rather than finding out the right one, because I'm just not that good at that.
Okay.
It's not my job. So what I want to do, the kind of equipment I'm looking for is a little bit more specialized. This is either something that I want something that I can hit a vehicle with. So this is going to be something I might be able to blow a lock, or an EMP pulse, or something along that. An EMP grenade, or maybe something I could potentially scramble systems.
Oh, so not something to blow stuff up, but something a little more special.
Okay, so something that maybe explosives is fine, just to blow the door off so we can get in. If I do something more that fries the electronics, then we can't drive it away.
Well, you could get an anti-material rifle. If you want to do it at range, like a sniper to do a breach on a door or on an armored vehicle, or an assault cannon, which is the same sort of thing, but closer. Like you can do that at a close up to breach a secure door, or a side of a truck or whatever.
I think that sounds fine. Okay. I think I'd like something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's have you roll hit the streets.
Okay. Yay, I got snake eyes.
So you go to talk to your people.
Yeah.
And they will say to you, well, we can get that for you. No problem, Molly.
Uh-huh.
And they say it in that way that makes the hackles in the back of your neck go up, like maybe this is a kind of one of those setups.
Yeah.
Just gets the back of your nerves there. But they say they can get it for you.
I say, great. I need it by tomorrow, and I need for you to deliver it to this address. And I'll give them a fake address.
Okay. Well, they're going to want some credits up front.
Yeah.
So give us 2 credits on the down payment.
I'll give you 1, and then I'll give you 1 over what the going price is whenever you show up.
They take that request unreasonably quickly. They're like, oh yes, not a
I see.
problem.
Which is even worse.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can tell that this particular heavy weapons dealer that you usually deal with has clearly been compromised.
Okay.
Okay. Let's come back to Squirrel. Squirrel, you got your fandom on the streets. They are doing their business. What do you want to do next?
What can 10 cred or what can 9 cred get me?
Let's see here. So the prices there, 8 cred will, so 4 cred will get you a hacker with a sense of professional integrity, discreet medical services, expensive or illegal gear from a fixer, vehicles, security drones, heavy weapons, cutting edge Russian attack software.
That was 10.
That's 4.
Oh, that's 4. Okay.
8 will get you cutting edge military or extraordinarily expensive gear from a fixer, cyber decks, military vehicles, most cyberware.
Okay. So, well, if I've got 9 and I can get drones for 2, can I run multiple drones if I have them?
Fuck yeah, you're a driver.
All right. I want 2 surveillance drones.
Okay. Let's have you roll hit the streets.
Okay.
Where did
all the things go? Roll for your party. All right, let me click on my magenta dice here, and I will just re-roll them, and then we'll see what my skill is. Re-roll selected. 4, 5. Okay, this is not going to go well. So I believe that this is style.
This is style.
That is a +1.
Okay.
And I am not in a car, and so that's a 6.
Do you have one of your friends helping you do this deal?
I was just going to ask, could I burn a bond?
Yeah,
you can roll help or interfere to Jace if you want to say that you're on site assisting.
I mean, I know a thing or two about surveillance and stuff like that, so I think it's plausible. So yeah.
Let's have you go ahead and roll with what's your links with Squirrel?
I've got one bond with him.
Okay, so go ahead and roll links plus roll with +1.
Alrighty, and then so is that 1 dice or 2? Or
it's 2 dice. Essentially, you roll 2d6 +1, and we check to see. It's your usual 7 and 9, 10.
That is a 10.
Oh yeah. So you get to the right people, but you still that just pushes up into 7 and 9 Squirrel. So what are the 2 things you want from the hit the streets result there?
All right. So let's see. So I think I want this one to, if I say take some time, it means I'm not going to have it in time.
And probably not at this point. We're running later.
If it costs me extra, is that going to push me over my 9 cred, or is that just an extra cred?
I'll say an extra cred. It'll take all 9 of your cred.
I will dump all 9 of my cred.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say, all right, my contact needs me to help them out with something. -1 ongoing move. Yeah, let's take that one.
So your contact says, my sister is having her quinceañera this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I want her to be driven in style in a fancy hot vehicle with a fancy hot driver.
Yeah.
So I need you to do that. The color is a kind of a fuchsia with a lime green. So I'm going to need you to dress in that.
Okay. I mean, that's going to clash with my signature red.
That's her color.
But I understand how important this ceremony is.
Yes, absolutely. And we can get some of that, the hydrostatic stuff to put on the vehicle to get those colors.
Sure.
Okay. So good?
Yeah. I think we're good.
Okay. So they'll get you 2 drones. You may look at the driver playbook and you may choose what you want for the drones. Stuff.
So I'm gonna get the little drones that are like all stealthy and small and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ship them to my mods that are going to the opposite cars that I'm going to.
Nice. Okay.
So I can have eyes on all the vehicles in my own drones.
That seems perfect. Yeah, you've got them there. Jace, what about you? Coming back around to you.
I think I'm looking into just whatever I can find in terms of records about unusual activity at each of these sites, because one of them is if they're holding something big at one of these sites, that's going to show up somehow, whether it's going to be increased power usage, increased water usage. It's going to reflect somehow in the public records I can have access to.
Let's have you roll research with Edge.
Rerolling the beige dice. That is 9.
Okay. So what is it specifically that you want to know?
Which site has had unusual levels of activity over the last week?
They've all been, like, they've clearly been messing and, you know, doing the signals and putting out the chaff and trying to do cover. Like they're clearly working hard and they're dumping some money into that. But one of the sites is the more sort of industrial site, like it's an actual production facility and things like that. And it's minor stuff, but it's stuff that suggests to you that some of the like below ground transport tunnels that they used to use, they've apparently turned back on and repurposed, and you suspect that they moved whatever this thing is through those underground tunnels to this location, and that neither of the other two places have any kind of signatures that are sort of weirdly additional like that. And that twings something for you, like that's the place, and that is the place with the Constantine J71 ground effect vehicle.
J71 ground effect, and that we also get an intel from that.
You would get intel on a 10 plus, but you only got oh wait, no, you did take intel on the research. Yeah, so you get 2 intel.
And naturally, I send that information out to everyone else as soon as I find it.
Oh yeah. Time is ticking away. Let's come back to Bob.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. Okay. So where are we at? I apologize.
That's okay. So right now, they have your gang is hitting the tanker. Right now, all of Squirrel's gang people, essentially followers, are kind of watching each of the 3 sites. Plus, he's got extra drones to send to the other 2 sites. But Jace has come back and says, "I think this site is the one." Like he goes, "Boom, this is it." So, what do you want to do?
You know how fortunate it is? I have a cousin of a friend of a brother who works there. It's this contact that I know.
This is your other contact?
Yep.
That's a nice power. Nice.
Yeah, it's the regular contact maneuver. And oh man, this is going to be Hugo. I'm just calling him Hugo. You know, I don't worry about last names. I remember faces.
Absolutely. And he's like, Mr. Higgins, I haven't heard from you in a few years. How can I help you?
Yeah, you know, your family has been so nice to me, and I heard you got this great job at this place. I was hoping that maybe we could tour the facility at some point.
He says, well, maybe in a while. Right now we're in a lockdown.
Oh, a lockdown. How long's that been going on?
A bunch of the RPM sites have been under lockdown the last few days. There's something big going on. I saw they have a full team of Wechthammer interventionist security on bikes that are here.
Oh, wow, wow. You used to take a lot of selfies. Did you happen to take a picture in there? Just kidding, just kidding. Well, this kind of information is really helpful. Let me just drop you a little bit of money.
He says, I did take a couple shots of some of the people there. If you want me to send those on?
Yeah. Shoot it my way. A family friend. Sorry, you guys have been a family friend for a long time. So anything I can do to help beyond this, just let me know.
Gotcha. And he will send it on. And you can see it's a team of guys, body armor, helmets. They're on Akira style bikes that have armaments on them. They're those bikes with the sort of modular transformational stuff, so they can take turns better. They've also got the mag tires, so if they need to, they can run along walls. And I also put this in. If you haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw yet, that is the best movie ever, and you should go see it.
Okay. Whoa.
Because there's a motorcycle in there that is the best thing I've ever seen in a movie.
Well, I have not watched any of the Fast and Furious.
Neither have I.
Okay.
This is the first one I went to, and I loved it with all my heart.
I'll do it on your recommendation.
It's so good.
So I'm impressed with this information. I definitely send them a credit. I'll just take it off my thing. That's how I keep the wheels greased. Yeah. But I'm sure Kurt knows a lot about this model. Not Kurt, sorry, Squirrel. So I pass that on for sure.
Squirrel, what do you know about these Wechthammer bikes? These Wechthammer, specially made security interventionist bikes. Tell me something about them.
Oh yeah, they've got those omnidirectional wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So they can maneuver like nothing you've ever seen.
Dangerous stuff, huh?
Yeah. And it looks like this is a coordinated team that is going to be running the security there. They've got different security teams for the other two sites, but this is the one that's clearly going to be following the Constantine ground effect vehicle.
All right, this should be super helpful.
Should I do one more round before we go to the mission?
I just have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was working on Hugin and Munin, but I wanted to make sure I got everything right. So the ground effects vehicle, that's the one that we think is the one, not the big tanker truck.
Yep, it is the ground effect vehicle. It's a big GEV transport. If you've ever seen the board game Ogre, it's the big GEV floater car with the armaments on it. They have a security team on bikes that's going to be essentially on it and shadowing it.
Okay, and that's the one that we just said can maneuver really well.
Oh, those bikes, that they can.
The bad guys' bikes. Oh, oops.
Yes.
They have exposed gas tanks. What was I thinking? No. So okay, cool. So I'm actually, if we're pretty sure that we know where we're supposed to be, then I'm going to keep my extra little drones with me.
Okay, that seems fair.
Okay.
And I was just thinking with the gang too, it would be great to get Neon Garbage onto the right tanker.
It's like we're already moving over on the other side. We can get there, but probably not until after the run has started.
Okay.
So they are there. They will come in later. How about?
Anything's better than nothing.
All right, Molly. I'll give you a chance. Do you want to do one more thing before we get rolling on the mission? Anything you want to set up? Anything you want to prepare? Now that you have more info?
No, I'm super tempted to go under the knife, but no, I think I'm good.
Oh, you could. Why not?
Nice. I'll do that. Sweet. I'm going to go under the knife. You said that's 8 cred?
8 cred.
And then I spend additional cred to get an additional die? Or
to give
additional
yourself a
+1.
+1 on the roll for going under the knife. What kind of cyberware is it you want?
I think I'm going to do the synth nerves,
Okay.
which just lets me move faster.
Oh yeah.
So let's see what that looks like. So that's a 9 +1 is 10.
+1 is a 10. So when you go under the knife, the operation is a complete success. You've been thinking about this for a while. The guy's already done all the blood tests and things like that. He's got one of those monofilament spider things that he clamps onto you, and it essentially does these nano sheaths on your nerves there. He has to like deaden your pain receptors because, of course, it fires off of all your nerves when he does it, and there's probably just that little bit that doesn't quite hit where you are just in white hot burning agony. But then he's done. It was an eternity, but it was only like 10 minutes. And when you come out, he's talking to you and he's like, and it goes, he kind of points to a little thing and you're going to have to adjust your frame rate kind of thing.
And then I think after that, for a little while, everything kind of tingles.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. You find all kinds of probably nerve dead spots you now have.
Yeah. Sort of like whenever your leg falls asleep or something like that, and it's starting to wake up, and you're like, "Oh, that's not good."
Oh yeah. You're lucky you got that 10 plus because
Yes.
some of the 7 and 9 things are not fun. Squirrel, anything else you want to do before we move to operations?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Jace, anything you want to do before we move to operations?
I want to see if I can get some locals to protest at about that time so we can slow them down, maybe get a view of what they have, just kind of get a better idea of how they handle things.
I can probably help you with that if you want, because I've got all my people there already.
That wouldn't hurt. The other thing I'm looking at is that I kind of want this thing to be like, signs, like kind of a flash protest, like, you're poisoning our neighborhood type stuff. So yeah, what do I need to roll for that? Hit the streets or?
Well, this feels to me like we're kind of doing a little mission package here. So you're kind of conducting an operation.
All right. In that case, if we're going to start the operation, can I roll for my, what's the move? Nose for a story.
Which does?
Start of the mission, roll edge, 10 plus, gain 3 hold.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that. This is actually conduct an operation is sort of a secondary thing.
Okay.
To tell us how well you get these people into place.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially you roll that with edge.
Okay.
And certainly if you need help, Squirrel's in with this, so he can roll assist if you need it. Does that sound cool?
Fine by me. Rolling the beige dice.
Okay.
That is a 7.
Okay. So on a 7 and 9, it isn't going to go as smoothly as you'd like. Either something doesn't quite kick off on time, or there's an unexpected complication. What do you think?
So I don't necessarily need it to go super smoothly. It can be ragged.
Okay.
As long as it delays the security team, so we can get better eyes and they can't quite get up to speed instantly.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I think let's give you the net mechanical result is going to be another piece of intel because you can spend that to give yourself a bonus. Does that seem like a fair trade-off there?
Sure thing.
Okay, let's do that.
So we're at 3 intel now for the mission?
I believe so. Bob, let's come to you and see if there's anything you want to do before we head to mission time.
No, just fill the chambers in my gun and hope my armor is helpful.
All right. So we're going to take our break here. When we come back, we will start the mission run.
Doesn't someone get a special thing about intel?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be me.
Yeah, we'll do that. The mission start. He has an activation on that, right? And he has and he has a bonus when he spends intel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. So we'll take 5.
Okay.
I did talk about the Sprawl for not this episode of the Gauntlet podcast that drops tomorrow, but for the one that'll drop in a couple of weeks. So it is on that next episode.
Very cool.
Tomorrow's episode is all about Band of Blades. Which is a huge book. It is a big, thick book. It's the one that's sort of the Black Company RPG kind of thing, where you're running a military, like in a low fantasy thing, and like you've lost. So it's a campaign about getting your forces back to essentially a fortress before everything goes wrong, and you pick missions that you go on as you're moving the troops back, and everyone has soldier characters that kind of rotate through, but they also have like, you're the person who handles logistics. And so you have all these choices about logistics, and you're the spy master. And so you have these agents you send out, or you're the commander, and you have to make the choices about who goes on what mission and what missions you do and things. So it's a wild game.
And it's super demoralizing. You're like, oh, we've lost, and the best we can hope for is to make it back without dying.
Yes. It has one of my favorite mechanics, which is on each segment, you have to generate 3 missions, things that your forces need to do, but you can only ever send people out on 2 missions. So you have to choose which mission you're not going to do, and you fail that one with whatever it costs are, and that is a tough choice.
How many people to play that game?
I think the minimum you would need is 3 players, and it can support up to 5 players. It's using the Blades in the Dark, that Force in the Dark system. So it's kind of abstracted for a lot of the stuff, but it's got a lot of neat tech in it, and the map in it is beautiful.
I haven't played any of those games yet, so I'll have to take a look.
Yeah. I really like. There are some people in the community who aren't as fond of Forge in the Dark as I am. Rich Rogers, for example, despises it, but he's super picky. But I actually like it. I've run a lot of it, so I enjoy it. Scum and Villainy is really good. So
you're telling me that the guy who goes through the clearance list on drive-through and gets random games and is picky?
He is super picky.
So the first time I played Blades in the Dark, I was not impressed. It was at a con, it was a one shot, and I didn't know what was going on. It's got a heavy learning curve.
Yeah.
I played 3 or 4 sessions, and I felt like 2 or 3 sessions in, I got it and could go with the flow, and I like it. But I would give it more than one chance.
Yeah. I ran it a bit, Blades in the Dark, big campaign, home campaign, for about 1.5 years. And I will admit, like the first 5 or 6 sessions, every session I was like, oh, here's a rule I didn't see the first time that kind of makes a difference. Let's continue on with that. But once I got it, I was like, okay, this is fun. It's fast. So we've got RPM. Tell me, Squirrel, what is a feature or a design or a logo element when the camera comes in on this industrial RPM facility? What's something about RPM place that we know that it's RPM?
I think their logo is a big tack. It's that red line thing, right? All the way to the right. And so it's let's see, I'm trying to now I'm doing the design in my head. What would be the simple thing? But it's got to be that tack, right? With the RPM on a slant, it's it's moving fast, butted up against that tack right there. And so yeah, it's this giant red line with the little ball, and it's probably got some sort of symbol inside the ball at the bottom, and then the big just RPM.
And we see that that's probably kept a little bit clean, and it probably goes to the actual factory itself. We've described that this is everything is sort of that pale and a dusty, heat baked around here. And probably even though it's getting on towards 6 o'clock, people are still having to put on their visors just because of the diffraction of the light in the air and the heat that's baking down. And there are guards out front of the facility that are pushing back this flash mob protests that are going on. And they are clearly, trying to clear that away. So let me ask this. Is everybody in Squirrel's vehicle? Do you have a secondary vehicle? How are we playing this? I would assume you could get, if you want to have just a standard car as a second vehicle, you could do that, or you could all be in Squirrel's car. What do you think, Bob?
I'm with Squirrel for sure. I'll be shooting out the window.
Okay.
Okay.
Molly? Go on.
So I think, Molly, we have a particular place where we plan things to go down, right? We have a route for these vehicles, don't we?
No, you have no idea where they're going.
Oh, okay.
That was not a piece of information you looked into.
Okay, so we have where they started from, but we
But you don't
have
know
any
where
idea
they're going. No.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'm in Squirrel's vehicle as well.
Okay. And Jace?
I mean, I think the only logical place to be is in Squirrel's vehicle, because at some point, if Squirrel's going to drive this rig that we're taking over, somebody's going to need to drive Squirrel's car. And in terms of the people who are best suited to do that, it kind of falls to me and Bob, I think. Because Squirrel needs to drive it. Molly needs to deal with everything else. And that leaves two of us to drive Squirrel's baby and try not to wreck it.
And so Squirrel,
Don't wreck it. I'm booked for a quinceañera in a couple days.
Yes. So you're off a few blocks away. You've got the drones in the sky. Do you have all 3 drones out here then?
Okay, so I keep my drones that the main drone fits into the car, like it slots into the back of the car.
Okay.
Hugin and Munin are little. They're like this big. And they're these little red balls that when they're up enough, they've got they look like birds.
Okay.
But they're just these little balls with rotors. And so those are probably just in the car, rolling around on the dashboard.
Okay.
And then when it's time, I'll just throw them out the windows and they'll go up.
Okay. That sounds perfect. So you all are in this, and you probably got at least a little bit of surveillance. We will see this group of bikes come out from a big, warehouse doors that we see the doors open slowly, and we hear we see the little spinning lights and stuff as it opens up. And we see this team on bikes come out, and they come and they clearly communicate up, and the main gates start to open. And you'll see this front line of 6 of these motorcycles kind of form a wedge and begin to ride forward. And there's this as this big ground effect carrier comes behind them, flanked by another group of these bikes. And you will see those bikes go forward, and they hit something, and you will see electricity crackle between the bikes, as essentially they set off a police shock field, and they drive into that crowd. It slows. They have to do this, but it will send the people who are in that flash mob. It will drop them, some of them on the ground, and as soon as they've cleared a path, that GEV kind of picks up the back, kind of huffs up a little, and then comes and goes over the people. And in a couple cases, you'll see people go and get thrown out off to the side from the air thing, and they begin to go. Essentially, they begin to take off. It looks like they're driving down Main Street yet. You don't know when or what is going to go on with they're breaking off from that path. So, what do you want?
Two things really quick.
Yes, please.
Did we get
Listen.
footage of that we can use against RPM later?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And let's have
thing,
that mission. Yeah.
Yes.
That move.
All righty. Let's see. Rolling the beige dice here. And if I remember correctly, that is
Edge.
That gets me an 11.
Okay. So that would give you 3 hold.
Okay.
These bikes take off. They're armored. They head out. GV's in the middle. Another set in the back. Squirrel, I'm gonna lead with you here since you're driving.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I got to give something to the fans. So I think we're gonna whip in behind this and do a cute couple of donuts right there to kind of like pump up the fans. And then as we tear off, that's when I'm gonna throw out Hugan and Munin.
Okay.
So they'll sit there and do this thing and like blink, 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 like let's go, follow, and then the Hugan and Munin will follow the car behind.
And yeah, absolutely. And what are you trying to do? Are you just following? Are you going to try and intercept part of this? What's the deal?
So we're gonna have to get to the front, right? So what's the formation? Are they still blocking the front of the vehicle, or are these bikes surrounding it?
There's a group of 6 at the front and a group of 6 at the back.
Okay. We're gonna have to get through because we're not gonna be able to go over in this car. So I think so I'll flip on the cams and I'll turn back to Molly and I'll just say, okay, I'm gonna get you in position, but what do you want? Where do you want to be? Do you want me to come around alongside them? You want me to drive through them? What do you want?
Get me where I can get on top of it. Is there an obvious exit or entrance to the GEV?
There's probably up on top. Now that it's got the suspension inflated, you can't really, there's no thing there, but there are hatches up on top.
Okay.
So yeah, okay. So it seems to me like you're going to be driving like a madman over there. How do you want to do this? Do you want to try and like come in and cut on the side? Do you want to go through the back group? Do you want to pop in over at the front? How do you want to do this, Squirrel?
So I think I want to, you know what? Oh, I know what I want to do. I'm going to wait until there's like a bit of a, like a lift on the side, like a frontage road or something like that.
Okay.
And I'm going to come over like a ledge and land on one of these bikes.
Okay. Let's have you, in that case, mix it up.
Okay. And I get to do something cool when I mix it up in a car.
Yes, you do.
Roll synth instead of meat plus my car's power.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Reroll selected. Oh, that not reveal selected. Reroll selected. Oh, good. It's a lot.
Okay.
It's do you want the number?
Is it more than 10?
It's more than 10 on the dice.
Okay. Well, there you go. So I think we will see you spin in and come out of nowhere. And let's say the last two that are on the left-hand side of this back 6 formation, car peels and what happens to them? What do we see on screen?
Oh, yeah. No. So one of them, like we come over the top and we just like clip him with the back tire.
Okay.
And like it does that slow-mo and then I rev it and it like throws his helmet off and knocks him off balance and he falls.
Okay.
And then the other one, we just like into the ground and kick up into him, like throwing him. And now we're like in the position where those last 2 were. We've got the other 4 on the sides.
Yeah. So he's got you in position, Molly. You could conceivably attack these bikes. You could conceivably try to climb out and get onto the GEV.
So I think that what happened. Molly's going to jump for the GEV.
Okay.
And I think the way this looks is, I think there's like, a split sunroof in the top. So basically, there's a little panel that opens, and Molly climbs out and jumps for as high up on the GEV as she can get.
Okay. Let's have you roll act under pressure.
Okay. Does reaction time matter with this?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. And act under pressure is what? Cool?
Cool.
Okay, I got a 10.
Look at you. So tell me what that looks like.
This is almost like a professional diver. The sunroof opens, she stands up, and then you see this, flip and kind of bend in the middle, and then land on top of the GEV.
And you will spike the landing, land on the top of it, superhero landing. Bob, you look out the window, and there are two very angry motorcycle people off to your side that look like they are getting ready to come at this car, and probably you as a passenger in this car.
Well, the closer the better, because all I have is that kind of sawed-off shotgun. I don't know. It's not a sawed-off shotgun, but I have gear of a gun, semi-auto pistol. So yeah, I got this little Beretta, doesn't shoot far, so I'm like, yeah, come a little closer. But I imagine this is like Mad Max style, right? Everything's fast and furious.
Oh yeah.
I've got myself braced as best as I can, part of my body out the window, and it's just like pow, pow, pow. Yeah.
Let's have you roll mix it up.
There we go. Oh, sorry, wrong mouse. So I'm gonna take the turquoise dice and re-roll. Okay, it's not horrible. Mix it up is based on, I apologize. Thank you. It is horrible. So it's a 5.
It is a 5.
A -1 on meat. I'm a small guy. There's
Okay,
not a lot of me.
that is true. So you will go leaning out, trying to, at the very least, use your weapon to push them back away, so they can't quite come, hard in on the vehicle there, and they will come in, and this guy comes up, and you see his hand come, and he's got this monofilament blade, and he will come along, and he catches your gun, and he catches one of your fingers there.
Oh,
so
not my pinky ring.
Yes. So it's going to be 1 harm, no armor protection.
Oh, what does that mean? Sorry.
So you're going to mark. So on the character sheet, you'll see you've got the harm clocks. So go ahead and sort of I just kind of fill in with the fill color on the 1500.
Gotcha.
And then you're actually going to make a roll a move, which is harm. You only took 1 harm, so you roll with a +1. You want low.
Okay.
Before we get
Roll
too far, can I
Yeah.
roll hot shit driver because I'm driving in a tense situation with a synced vehicle?
Sure. Okay, we'll resolve this.
After his resolve.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So I got an 8 with that +1.
Okay. So I think it's definitely you lose that gun. Essentially comes in and cuts that, and you pull your hand back. You barely keep a hold of the finger, doesn't fly off.
Oh, okay, they can reattach that. I know a guy.
The gun is gone, and the two of them are up close, and you can see that what they are looking at doing is they are maneuvering. They kind of fall back next to each other. They're clearly going to try and use the monofilament on the tires of the car.
Well, I gotta flip them off with what's left. You didn't get the good one.
Jace, you're on the other side in the back, and you see these two bikes coming in on that other side. What do you want to do?
How close are they? Like, are they in arm's reach, or are they?
They are trying to get up so that they can get those tires with those mono whip things.
Squirrel, you got any guns in this thing?
Just on Red Hawk.
Hmm.
I mean, I do on, well, the car has guns, but I don't have any guns in here, like in the cab. That's dangerous. What are you going to do? I'm not going to just
Squirrel,
have guns bouncing around the cab.
squirrel. Next time, load this thing out with some weapons.
No, I mean, I got the machine guns on the front. I just got to get them pointed at the right.
Well, that doesn't help us for the dudes on the side. Put some shotguns in here next time so we can forget it.
All right, you
So
know what?
I draw
And
my
then,
pistol.
Red Hawk will like along the side by your window, and then there's a shotgun attached to him. You could try to pull off.
Let's have you roll your hot shit driver,
Okay.
and then we will see how Jace is going to handle these things.
Okay, so that's 7. So it's a 7.
7. So you get one
I get
hold.
One hold.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold on to that in case they go for the wheels. like you
Okay.
previously stated.
So what do you want to do, Jace?
Are they close enough that I can just start punching them with this badass body armor that Molly scored for me?
Probably not, given that they're moving. Well, hey, let me say, yeah, you could try that. This is
There's almost no
PbtA.
way it could fail, right?
Absolutely. I mean, what could happen? You could mix it up with meat.
Well, it's because the other option I have is shooting at them with my little pistol.
Uh-huh.
And is that also meat?
Yep. Essentially, when you use violence, essentially to seize control of an objective, essentially to change situation, that's what you do.
These guys are obnoxious. I might as well do something dumb and just start like trying to punch them in the face in their helmeted faces.
Okay. Let's have you roll with meat.
All right. That's a 3.
That is a 3. So I think as you punch, kind of have to lean out and do that.
That gets me XP though, right?
That is going to get you XP. Yeah. This guy grabs onto you to pull you out of the car and goes to throw you, and you have to grab onto Red Hawk. And you are now dangling from a drone out here. And the drone is not necessarily built to carry
Not a passenger vehicle.
So you're kind of hanging on that, imagining around out there. Does that seem fair?
This seems awesome.
Let's come back to Squirrel, and then we'll see what Molly's doing. Squirrel, we got your pal Jace is hanging off a Red Hawk, and you got your scanners up in the air, and you got these pair of motorcycles that are closing in, like they're going to try and do some damage to your tires.
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna try to break it loose and get this thing sideways so that I can take out one side of these guys with the machine gun, and maybe if I roll well enough, we can get Jace on top of the car.
So are you more interested in maneuvering yourself in a bit better position, or are you more interested in right now trying to use the vehicle to cause some damage?
I think I'm mixing it up with the machine guns.
Okay, so let's go ahead and have you roll that.
Okay. So, all right, here we go. Reroll. Oh boy. Well, I got lots of bonuses, so that's a 5 on the dice. But my car's power is 2.
Okay.
And I roll synth, so that's +3. So we're at 8.
8. So yeah, you're definitely going to lay in on these two bikes that are on the side that Jace is on, and catch them on that, and you're gonna drop one of them, and you have to choose 2 though from the mix it up list there.
All right, let me get to the list. All right, make too much noise. I mean,
That certainly makes sense.
With it, yeah, I'll take that one. With a machine gun. Take harm. Ally takes. Oh, I mean, Jace is outside the car. How do you feel about that, Jace? Do you want to take some harm?
I mean, I've got body armor to absorb 2 harm, and I just bought it, so.
Yeah, let's use that.
That seems like a reasonable thing. The machine guns are, let's say, 2 harm. So you're going to roll that harm roll with a 0, Jace.
Now's when I need a 3.
Yes.
And I got a fucking 11.
Oh, jeez.
So on a 10 plus, choose 1.
Oh, no. I feel so bad.
All right. And this is under
Harm.
Let's see. So how much harm are we talking about taking?
2 points. Two ticks.
That's it?
That's it.
I'll take the 2 harm. Jesus.
Okay, absolutely. So the body armor doesn't absorb it, and one of those machine gun rounds hits you squarely in the thigh there, and it doesn't catch it, and you'll feel that blood running down your leg. So the car's kind of skidding, turning. We got these bikes maneuvering around. There are only 3 of them left. They're kind of trying to get in position to take the vehicle out. Jace is still hanging on to the drone. We cut to Molly.
And I think Molly's on top of the tank, the DEV, and she cracks out Loki, her monofilament whip, and starts cutting in to make an entryway.
Okay. So this is going to be a little bit challenging for the whip because the vehicle is moving, because it does have some defenses on it. So let us have you act under pressure.
Okay. Boxcars.
So tell me what it is that how do we see you use that whip? How do you cut into this thing?
So you see, her hand kind of whip up, and it's almost like a lasso. And she spins it around, and it forms like a little circle, and then she whips that circle into the side where the portal, where the entryway is, and it just slices a big chunk out that then falls back in amongst the motorcycles and ting on the road and ting and.
Okay, we see that flying backwards, and you can definitely feel that the GEV is now taking a corner, like it's changing its route here, even as you're doing that. But you've got definitely an entryway, and you can drop down in. It's a big vehicle, and you can drop down back into this cargo area.
Perfect.
Let's come back to Bob. Bob. Still got those 2 bikes out there. Jace is swinging possibly to his death out there. Molly is in the vehicle, achieved her objective. So what do you want to do?
Could I try and help Jace get to a safe place?
Sure. You could act under pressure with cool.
Okay.
There you go.
Before you act,
Mm-hmm.
I'd kind of like to try to land on one of the motorcycles and see if I can take the dude off of it.
You're crazy. All right.
I've got this body armor that Molly scored for me, and this stuff is really awesome. I feel like a superhero in it. What can I say?
Except for the blood running down your leg.
Well, superheroes bleed. It's okay. You think Batman never needed a Band-Aid?
So he tells me, he shakes his head. We know each other well. I got a couple links with him. So it's like, okay, you're crazy.
I mean, if you want to try to help with that, I'm all about that.
Well, I might do that myself. I think I'm as crazy as you are. All right. Does anybody have a gun for me? Which would only be Squirrel.
I mean, there's still that shotgun on Red Hawk, but I have no guns in this car.
Okay. Then it's plan B. Can I jump over to the biker?
You could try.
I think, it's the last session. Let's give it a go.
Absolutely.
I mean,
For that.
this is almost in worldwide wrestling territory.
It is
drop kick.
sort of in that.
I'm thinking Mad Max, just like try and jump off. I don't know.
You are still trying to use violence to do this, I think, because you want to knock him off there, right?
Yeah. I want you to, jump on his back, try and wrestle.
Now, let me mention this. you guys have 3 intel.
Oh.
And Squirrel certainly knows some things about these bikes. So if you wanted to, you could spend an intel to give yourself a bonus on jumping over there.
I could also use one of the holds that I got from my start of mission move.
Oh, nice.
So we've got 3 intel and we've got 3 holds to play with.
Well, this is crazy. I don't want to burn through everything. I'll give it a go.
Try the roll and see what happens.
Yeah. Which thing am I actually rolling on? Which
meat?
That. Oh no.
That's why I mentioned the intel.
Yeah, this is a dumb idea.
You've got 3 intel. You can spend it. You gotta spend it before you roll.
Mm-hmm.
It's already a -1. I gotta do something else. Okay. Because that is just not good. Can I? Oh God, that would be crazy. To fast talk them? I don't even know. Like yelling out the window.
Yo mama jokes always work.
Yeah.
I don't think the fictional positioning is good for that one.
Yeah.
If you were up with Molly, like in that vehicle, you might be able to talk to people on the inside. But right now, in this situation, you could assess the situation to ask questions and give yourself a bonus. You could mix it up. You could tell me, I want to call in that gang.
They're on their way. They better be.
Do you want to say that they arrive?
If they could be here now, that would be perfect.
Okay.
I didn't think I had control of that. I thought they were at the end.
They were. Then let's have them come in, and I will let you use them to do a mix-it-up action on those bikes with a +2.
Okay, so that's what happens. I just pull out my phone and my bleeding hand, and I try not to get the screen. Oh yeah, it's VR. So, hey guys, it got hot real quick. I bought you some new bikes. Could you get over here?
We're almost there. Where exactly do you need us?
Here. Oh, there's a blue dot, and then they just zoom in.
Show us on Google Maps.
Yeah, totally. So we link up, and then I'll do the roll here.
Okay.
Meet with a +2, which only ends up giving me a +1. Select turquoise.
No, you don't. No. You don't have to roll off your meat. You're using their meat, which is a +2.
Ah, beautiful. Okay, so an 8.
An 8. So you still need to choose 2 from the mix it up list, but they are going to come in and peel off those 2 bikes.
Nice. Who? Do you guys care? Okay, sorry. So we either make too much noise, I take harm and establish. Yeah, I could take some harm because this was kind of bad. And an ally takes harm or something of value breaks. Wow.
I'm thinking we're making noise. I mean, we're already in a pitched gun battle going down the street.
Absolutely.
So it advances a relevant mission clock. So do that and I'll take harm.
Okay. So I think that'll be the thing is you're kind of leaning out close, talking to them, and they come in with clubs and bats and stuff, and they into these guys. And it is the thing, you are kind of watching this, and then that bike smashes against the side of the car. And that's going to deal a point of harm to you. Do you have body armor?
No, that would have been a good thing to purchase.
So you will take 1 harm, and you're going to roll. So you have another. So it's a second harm you've taken, and you're going to roll with a +1 on the harm roll.
We want low dice. Lower than you've been doing. Not okay. You said +1, so 10.
10. So look at the harm move, and you need to choose one of those.
Wow.
Middle column. Page moves 2.
There we go. So that's funny. I feel like when you're a kid, you're like, you do it. Okay. So we've already beat up my finger. Oh, lose a body part? That's crazy. Does it continue to bleed, or is it just like broken?
It's just broken.
Okay.
Or it is out of commish.
I didn't want to be amputated. So that same hand, maybe my right hand, because that's what I'm envisioning, gets broken, or the whole arm, that kind of thing.
Kind of reaching out, and it slams against it, catches that. You'll hear the crack as that gives. It bashes against it, and you pull your hand in just this blood everywhere, and that just feel that starting to go numb there.
Oh, this is not good. I'm gonna have to pay that guy extra.
Let's come to Jace. Jace, you are on this drone. There's one motorcycle left on that side with you, and you said you wanted to try and get the jump on this guy.
Am I close enough with Red Hawk, like swerving back and forth, to try to jump to the motorcycle?
Is your intention to knock him off the motorcycle, or do you just want to get on the motorcycle?
Well,
if you're trying to knock him off, that's mix it up. If you're trying to just get on the motorcycle, I would say that's act under pressure.
All right. So what is act under pressure with? Edge?
Cool.
Cool. Righty. Let me check stats really quickly. It makes absolutely no difference. So
might as well mix it up.
Righty. Nose for a story doesn't really get me anywhere on this.
Don't think so.
So none of the holds that I have I can use.
You have that intel.
I can help too since you're riding Red Hawk.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
So you know what? We may need that in a bit. So I'm just going to save the intel for now.
Okay.
And I'm going to yell, Squirrel, I hope you're streaming this shit. Because your viewers are going to see something they've never seen before. And I try to basically use Red Hawk like a bar to swing my weight backward and gain a little bit of momentum going forward. My intent being to literally drop kick the dude over the handlebars of his motorcycle and take control of the bike and then run his ass over and carry on.
Let's have you roll with meat.
All right. We're rolling the beige dice. Be kind to me. That's a 9.
That is a 9.
I would like to
help.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I burn my bond with Squirrel to get it to a 10?
Well, no, you don't burn bonds in this game. What Squirrel can do, though, is he can roll his links with you to see if he can assist by coordinating.
Okay.
Yeah. And I get to roll links plus the power of Red Hawk, which is 1, I think. So
that's nice.
So here we go. At least that I think that's how that move works. So here we go. Reroll. Okay, same number. So that's a 5. But I have a link with you, and Red Hawk has a power 1. So that makes
we have
it a
2
7.
links. Or actually, no, it's smaller than 2 links. Yeah.
Yeah. So that takes it to a 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need you to tell me on the mix it up there. Choose 2 from the 7 to 9 list there, Jace.
2 seconds. Zoom really throws me off because it's that separate window.
Yeah.
This is definitely making noise, especially if Squirrel's streaming it.
Absolutely.
And hell.
So I have a hold that I can spend to get my car out of the way of some danger. So if you want to put Red Hawk in some danger there, I can spend my hold to save it.
Okay. Something of value breaks. Because I mean, Red Hawk was not made for that.
Okay. And you want to spend your hold to evade that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because you helped interfered and you're implicated in the results, I need you to also pick 1 from that list there, Squirrel, from the 7 to 9 on the mix it up.
All right. I spent my hold too soon. All right. Oh man. I mean, we already advanced the mission clock.
Yeah, you can just do that again. I mean, just ticking that.
Just keep ticking down that mission clock. I don't even know where it's at. I haven't been paying attention. It's got to be pretty bad though.
Probably the safest one for you, right?
I'll take some harm.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to catch Red Hawk. So I'm gonna stick my hand out and try to get Red Hawk to come fly over to me.
Okay. Do you have body armor?
I don't know how long this lasts, but when you drive straight into danger without hedging your bets, you get +1 armor.
Okay, so you're going to take one harm then through.
Cool. So I take 1 harm.
Yeah.
I mark XP as well.
Yes. And you get to roll the harm move.
Oh, good.
Roll that with a +1.
All right, let's put some harm on there. With a +1. Boy, roll low dice. Okay, that's a 6, which is a 7.
That is a 7. All
right, let's see. 7 and 9, choose one. Oh, MC will choose one.
So I think that you don't get alerted by your sensor drones to the fact that you'll hear now came in closer than before you picked up the sound of the blades, but you will hear this chopper clearly got called in. Mission clock hit midway, and you will see this small gunship has come in and is following along right now and is over your vehicle.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's cut to Molly, and then we'll come back to Squirrel.
So I want to head right towards the command area.
Okay. You just go. You're fast. You will go through that cargo area, hit that next door, pop it open, and you will see their security team. Like they are they know that somebody was on top of the vehicle. They're getting ready, and there's a group of them, and they kind of look up as you come in.
Yeah, and I want to tear into them.
All right. You're a small gang.
Right. What does that do again?
It means you're essentially, rather than you dealing one-on-one with them, you're dealing with them all as if they are on an equal footing with you.
Okay.
So let's have you go ahead and roll, mix it up.
And I think the synth nerves give me a +1 forward. Okay, I rolled a 6. My meat is a 2, so that's an 8 + 1 is 9.
Okay. So let's tell me what you want on the mix it up.
Yeah, let me find that. Okay. I choose 2.
Choose 2.
Let's say I make too much. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You're saying?
Yeah. Let's say I take harm and let's say something of value breaks.
All right. So I think that you're going to take harm. You've got body armor, right?
I do.
Their damage here, just in close quarters, because they can't get the big assault rifles out, is just going to be 2. So you can be rolling your harm at a +0.
Okay. I rolled a 4.
Okay. So you don't mark any harm, and it bounces off. And something of value breaks. I think that you hit something here, and we see for a second the GEV like stutter, and we cut back to you in back there, Squirrel, and the GEV does this like short stop break, and you smash into the back end of it. So right now, your car has taken some damage. Does that seem fair?
Yeah. How do I track that? Do I just
let's see. So
I don't know if it has like how much harm it can take, or
yeah, no, I think it's just light damage. I think we will consider that fictionally Your car is not in great shape right now.
Okay.
As essentially you slam into that back of that, kind of spin off. Let's come, Molly. Tell me what it looks like as you lay waste to these security guards.
I think it's one of those things where whenever she enters the room, they all kind of look up all of a sudden, and then there's this big. It's almost as if there's a flash where you see like 3 or 4 vague mollies just pummeling these guys and just dropping them, where basically, this is the speed up that she's, paid for, and she's hitting them all at once.
Oh yeah, and you don't use the mono whip smartly, but doom, 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 and we see you drop them, and then we probably see you take a look up and look down the corridor towards the front. Squirrel, kind of smash your car into that, kind of catch yourself. You've pulled in you've thrown him in the back seat, and hey, there's a gunship above you. What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, I think my AMA goes live.
Okay.
So I definitely have to start answering questions through this.
So we've all been wondering. Where does the name Squirrel come from?
Oh yeah, no, that was just it was because of the I tend to like I'm just like swerving back and forth trying to dodge the thing, and the cams are getting it right, and so
right.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, who knows where things come from, and he's just like swerving constantly.
Who knows where anything comes from? So what are you gonna do? How do you want to deal with this gunship? Do you have something you want to do to strike at it? Do you want to try and get the GEV between you and it? Do you want to consider there are still 6 motorcycles at the front of the GEV?
Yeah, let's shoot, man. I can't point my machine guns up, so
why not? Isn't there something that you could do?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some way to like change the direction of this vehicle.
Tell me how you do it.
Okay, so this giant car thing, it's sort of shaped with some ramps and stuff, so when stuff hits it just sort of bounces off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna try to come at it sideways and do it like do the corkscrew thing and point the car at this this helicopter.
So come around, bring the car up, use it to ramp off this to get a shot at this helicopter.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
you want to spend any intel on this mix it up?
Oh yes, yeah. So actually I don't know what I would spend intel on for this. I mean, everybody kind of knows that helicopters are vulnerable to bullets.
But do you know this particular model?
I think I do. Did
I help him?
With the exposed gas tank.
Yeah. The exposed gas tank you mentioned earlier is actually part of this. What is it? How would you help as he does this insane stunt? You're about to die, Bob, by the way, when you start to do this maneuver. You're like, see right. Everything you've done wrong. You're like, you're 6 days to retirement, and this is how you die.
Well, I know this guy that works on these, and he was telling me all about it. And, with my eidetic memory, just whatever, I just remember things really well. I'm like, hey, it has a serious flaw. Just remember, And so I tell him just some geek stuff I had heard about this model.
So
perfect.
I think on the heads up display, he starts like, he's got the drone, the Hugin and Munin, and one of them has the analyze software.
Uh-huh.
And so it's projecting the angle that I need to hit it at. And I get this heads up display that's like ... where I need to drive. And so Bob knows what's about to happen because the heads up display is showing what we're going to do. And I just look at you and I'm like, buckle up.
roll, mix it up.
All right.
So
that's
would
not
I
bad.
be able to give him any pluses with the smooth roll, where when you help or interfere with somebody, you roll style instead of link?
Yeah, let's have you roll it.
Awesome.
I'm at an 8 on the dice,
I know people that know people.
and I'm mixing it up. So this is +3. So I'm at 10 actually.
8 on style. So 10.
Oh yeah. So tell
Nice.
me, Bob, what is it that you do with your cool, calm demeanor that helps Squirrel get this and land this?
Oh, the maneuver?
Yeah.
Oh.
How is it that you're helping?
Man, sorry. I thought it was to shoot the ship. I was going to say, aim for this part of it. I heard that if you hit this exact part, it's this mechanic complained about it completely, but it's a little bit more to the right. You're like way off. The front is way solid. He never works on that part. It's the middle, and he's pissed at it. So yeah.
We see you accelerate, turn it, do that bank, hit the nitrous to boost it, do that corkscrew. And, we get that shot where it's both the car and the helicopter and the shot as you rake the machine guns across the front of this. And we see it. And we see the mini attack ship smash in, and the explosion. Bob, you probably feel the heat of it. It rolls off of you as the car comes down and does that boom bounce, but it keeps going. No damage to the car. Keeps rolling. Jace,
What the F?
Jace, you're on this bike and you see that.
All you see of me is slow-mo. Like I'm looking up and my jaw is starting to drop as I'm watching this. And then after he lands, I yell, "God damn it, Squirrel. I just did the coolest thing in my life. Why do you always have to upstage me?"
Contractual obligation.
And what are you doing, Jace?
I got this motorcycle now.
Yeah, you do. You got motorcycle, got guns. There's 6 motorcyclists up front. Molly's on the vehicle. You could try and get up onto the GEV.
The motorcycles have guns?
Yeah.
Well, now that's an interesting turn of events.
They're front mounts, your usual stuff. Probably a rear gun as well.
All right, give me 2 seconds here.
Sure.
All right, I'd like to ask a question from the research list.
Okay.
What part of these motorcycles is most vulnerable?
That's an interesting question. My instinct is to say the drivers, but I think that's a weak answer. I would say that while they've got a good deal of armor and coverage, there is that factor that the bottom part of their wheels is exposed, and particularly the spokes there. That if you can get something solid in there, that is where they're most vulnerable.
They're going to go ass over tea kettle.
Yeah.
Okay. So, given that I am, of course, a motorcycle expert, because I mean, look at how I just mounted that motorcycle.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and speed up and try to catch up with them. And I'm just going to unload with the front mounted machine guns and see if I can take out the drivers in front of me.
Okay. Let's have you roll mix it up.
All righty. And then, of course, I pass that information on to everybody else in case they can, say, spread some glass in front of these bikes, etc. Rolling beige. That's an 8.
That is an 8. So you will up to the front and lay out the closest one of this pack of 6, essentially from nowhere, and hit them in the back, and that motorcycle will spin out, crash off to the side, and you see that they're kind of starting to do that quick quick reverse where essentially the drivers spin around on the bike and the bike switches direction. And
because of those omnidirectional wheels.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and it's a good thing they have those omnidirectional wheels. So they are coming back this way. Molly.
I have something in mind, but it's going to need some help from probably Squirrel. So if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is show a little bit of a flashback where we were working on your new drones. And I think I'm going to hit a homing signal, and that'll zip them into my location. And I'm going to plug them into the control panels. And I'm going to let, Squirrel, you can decide if you want to hack in and drive this thing, or do you want to hack in and find out where the cargo is? Is that acceptable?
Yeah, I like that. Let's do it this way. I think that you spend an intel, and we'll consider that as a payment for the flashback.
Yeah.
And I'll let you act under pressure to get Squirrel in control of this vehicle.
Okay. So act under pressure is cool. My cool is +1. And I rolled a 5. So that gets me a 6.
Okay. Squirrel, do you want to help?
Yes, I would love to help.
Okay. What are your links with Molly?
So I have 2 with Molly.
What?
Yeah, I don't remember what happened, but I know I bumped one at some point.
And let's have you roll with the +2.
All right. 3 roll selected. Oh, geez. All right. Well, 5, 6, 7. That is a 7.
That is just barely. So Molly, I think these drones fly in through that gap, come to where you're at. You'll grab them and put them into the control space there, and essentially that will seize control of that. But I think we hear the sound of the shotgun go off at that moment, as essentially the co-pilot has come back and essentially lays a shot into you, which will be for 3 harm. You've got body armor, right?
Right.
So which body armor is it? 1 or 2?
It's 2.
2. So just to take 1 harm and roll the harm move.
And the harm move is +3 or +1?
+1 till you roll what you take.
Okay. So I got a 7 + 1 is 8.
8. So I think that that shotgun hits you and it knocks you on your ass.
Right. I think basically the way that this works is she hears the click of the shotgun about to go off, and it wasn't aiming at her. It was aiming at the drones. And she dives in front, takes the blast, and then falls down.
Nice.
Onto the ground just on her ass.
Nice. Bob, you will see that look on Squirrel's face that tells you that he is got another big vehicle that he's remotely piloting. Even as his car comes down, what do you do?
Well, I know he's got this under control. I was thinking of some quick heal. Try and apply a little first aid.
You're just going to slap a derm on yourself?
Yes, I have derms. That's part of my gear.
Okay. Then that'll give you the fiction. Let's have you roll apply first aid.
Excellent. Just one of those things where I gotta get a little bit better, guys. Holy Lord. 2 1s. So horrible. I would just make it worse.
So I think that you go to apply this derm, and it's one of those derms that has a trank in it, partially, right? And I think that's the point at which Squirrel's car jerks, and we see you slap this tranquilizer derm onto Squirrel.
Oh shit.
Squirrel, could I please have you roll the harm move with a 0?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Let's do that.
Oops.
Oh, good. That's a 10.
Squirrel, please choose something from the 10 plus on the harm move.
We are professionals. Yes. Absolutely professionals. All right. I have not read this section yet. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panic. I mean, while that makes sense,
The
let's see
unconscious
what
part.
the other
Yeah.
options are, since I'm currently piloting 2 vehicles.
All right,
Oh my
go
God.
on.
Full arm of the attack, which I don't know if there was harm to take.
You would take harm if you, if
So
you
I would
took
take.
that.
Oh, okay. So I would take some harm.
Yeah.
Lose the use of a piece of cyberware until you get it repaired, or lose a body part. Man. Okay, so I feel like lose some cyberware would make sense, but I only have the one piece, and that's what lets me jack into cars, so I can't do that. I'm gonna lose an arm.
Okay, so
Like the arm just is non-functional where he slapped the patch.
and you when it hits you, you're like, oh my God, this is those denzidines. I am allergic to denzidine.
Oh, it's the Trovocaine and the Denzidine.
And you slap it on and you immediately feel that arm go and feel that the tingles go down it.
Yeah, there is no way I'm shifting this car. Go ahead.
Squirrel, I think you're going to have to decide which vehicle you want to control.
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say, this. You tell me if I can do this. I push the steering wheel to the other side of the car.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I just I throw it, right, and it's just like, because it's like mag mounted to the front of this digital display, and it's just in front of him, and all of the heads up display just like with it.
And suddenly you're in command of this car, Bob, going at 50 miles an hour down these narrow streets here. And you know, it like does a little facial recognition and says, "Good morning, Bob," you know, and acknowledges you. Squirrel, you've got to hold and control, even as you feel your arm tingling, but you've got this vehicle, you've got this ground effect vehicle. You can see through its sensors. You will see Jace rolling into a pack of 5 of these motorcycle guys. You can see their planned route, where they were headed. What do you want to do?
So I want to send the ship manifest to Jace.
Okay.
Make sure we actually got the thing we were looking for.
Oh yeah.
And then I want to drive this thing over the 6 motorcycles in front.
Absolutely. Let's have you mix it up.
Yeah.
Power is 2.
Okay.
You don't want to fail this.
Yeah. Oh, good. So 5 on the dice, but power is 2 and synth is 1. So that's plus 3. So it's an 8.
Okay. So on the mix it up, what do you want as your 2 picks there?
All right.
Is there any way we can bump it up to a 10? Like, could I, for example, move out of the way using my links with Squirrel so he's got a more clear shot at getting rid of the other motorcyclists?
Well, he was at an 8, so the assist will only add a +1.
Okay, never mind then.
No, it was a good question.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So mix it up. Oh wait, is anyone in front there? Didn't you say you were driving up front?
Yeah.
Jace?
Jace is up there. Yes.
Okay.
I was coming up along the side, and I shot one of the motorcyclists who was off to. I'm assuming the driver's side, because I was on the driver's side of Squirrel's vehicle. So the other motorcyclists, there's 5 of them. I'm guessing they're still in a semi-wedge shape.
I actually have an idea that doesn't hurt anybody else.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
I take harm and something of value breaks.
Okay.
Because one of the motorcycles I hit comes tumbling back and goes through the windshield.
Okay.
Of our car.
Of your car. Absolutely.
Yeah, so my body gets hit and our car is all busted up.
Okay. Yeah, your car, Bob, you're like, okay, I get this. And suddenly you look up, Bob, and you see this motorcycle come and it hits the armored shield windshield. Probably picks some of it, but that tire smashes right into Squirrel. Squirrel, you're going to take 2 harm past armor.
Okay.
Holy what? Shit. Am I making a drive test or anything when that
We'll
happens?
have that in just a second.
Okay.
But I stay linked to this other car. So
Sure, but now you're going to roll that harm move for that 2 harm.
Oh right, I forgot. Stupid harm move. I keep forgetting that. I roll
You did that
low,
game.
take harm, and then I roll high on the stupid harm move.
Oh yeah.
Oh good. Snake eyes.
You take that 2 harm, but it does. You're focused. It probably because you got that derm that is
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
I'm not feeling nothing.
Yeah. Jace, you've blown this boop, 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 and then the GEV revs and smashes into this pack of motorcycles. And what do you want to do? They are, you hear the I have no regrets as they go under. What do you want to do?
You should regret every life decision you made that led you here, son. So bear with me, I have sirens outside.
Oh, okay.
That was not just adding to the drama. That's actually going on outside. I'll mute it if it gets bad.
Nope. You can hear it.
With the information that Squirrel sent me, I've got basically everything, the route, the manifest, everything, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm assuming we all have linked comms, so I'm going to tell Bob we need a place to get this thing off the street quickly and get it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that RPM is now looking for us.
Oh yeah, that clock.
So we've got control of the vehicle. We need to get this thing off the street now, and we need to get it hopefully into a facility of some sort that'll let us move it underground or through tunnels or something like that, so we can get it farther away from the scene of all of this stuff. So I'm hoping, just hoping against hope here, Bob, that you know some dealers who are smuggling stuff and have tunnels dug here, there, and everywhere, and have warehouses for precisely this sort of thing.
Well, in fact, Jace, I don't think you've declared a contact this session yet, have you?
I haven't, no.
Okay, so you could certainly give him one of your contacts to talk to.
You know, I do have a contact.
Okay.
Jack Langley.
Okay.
He is a rather irritable person who has been stuck at Dontaku. And doesn't like his job, doesn't like the people he works for, but he's stuck there. You know how these corps are.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're in, it's almost impossible to get out. But I bet if I called him up and gave him a way that he could stick it to Dontaku, cause some drama with RPM, that he'd be happy about that.
Let's have you hit the streets, and I'll let you use your +1 forward from the nose for a story.
All righty. Let's hope we get a good roll on this one. That's a 7.
Okay.
And then what is that? What do I roll?
Style.
With style. Let's see. What does that do for me? That gets me up to an 8.
Okay. So I think it's going to cost you a little extra. And you can tell he's going to have a job that he's going to need you to do. But I think you can get that arranged. Does that sound fair?
That sounds more than fair.
Okay. Bob, I just need you to roll to keep control of this vehicle.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how this factors in, but we do remember that my Really, it was my right arm got busted. I'm on the left side, so it's perfect for shifting.
Oh
But
yeah.
there's going to be some knee action on the steering wheel kind of going on.
Let's have you roll act under pressure.
All right. So when I act under pressure, I'm using cool. Let's see. That's not a bad thing. How's the gang doing too? They should be kicking butt.
Oh, they've done their job and peeled off.
Ah, darn. All right. So 6 only. That's not very helpful. Nope.
Squirrel, how are you helping Bob drive the car?
Okay. So, okay. So, yeah, he's got like the. What did you get? What did you roll? Was it a 6?
I missed it by 1. Yeah.
Okay.
6.
Yeah, I think he's like, he's too high a gear because he's left-handed here, right? Because the stick shift is in the middle, and so I think, Red Hawk like it's like and starts like pressing buttons on the thing to like it brings up this little like display that shows the lights turn on that show where each gear is.
Oh, nice.
Because it's backwards for him.
Yes.
Nice. Let's have you roll links with Bob.
All right.
So do I roll something else?
No. If
okay.
he rolls well, he'll boost that roll up to a 7.
So it's spun, but the numbers stayed the same.
Then re-roll.
So are you sure?
Yeah, I always do that.
Okay. Reroll. Okay, that's not the same numbers. So that is 6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
So
plus
Bob
links is 10.
pushes it up.
Ooh.
I think we hear the grinding of gears. I think we can hear the transmission shimmy. I think we know that this vehicle is going to be in the shop for quite some time when this mess is over. Jace is getting the place to deliver this. Bob, you're driving. You've got to hold. You're running the vehicle, but right now there's still one challenge. Molly, you're on the ground. You see this guy with the shotgun. You hear the as he aims for those drones. What do you do?
I'm gonna fill him full of lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll mix it up.
So I pull out those pistols, and let's see what that looks like. I got an 11 on the dice.
Boom, boom, boom. We've got a cord on the back of him, so he flies back from those shots. Okay, hits the wall and drops down. I imagine we hear the guy who's driving like, I just still don't have control of it. What's going on back there? Before you can come up into the main area. How do you make it clear to this gentleman that this is not going his way?
I think that it's intimidation just through sheer speed. So he's in the middle of hollering back, what's going on? And all of a sudden there's this blur, and this bloody little girl is standing in front of him with 2 smoking pistols and says, get out.
And I think we cut to the scene, the montage of you guys getting this vehicle off the grid, getting the car off the grid. The gang peels off in different directions to help create chaff here. You didn't push the clock up any further. So essentially the helicopter was what got twigged by that. But they're going to have a hard time tracking you guys. If you'd pushed the clock up more, we would have another moment here. But I think you will get that down into that. You'll drop down into the underground area. We get that like a big underground garage that you drop it down into. Your people are there, Jace, that you asked for, the guy from Dantaku. He has hauler people if you need something moved out or you need to swap vehicles or whatever.
All right, we need Squirrel. What do you? I mean, your car's shot. You need a vehicle. We need like what? 2 cars?
You need a truck and you need a car.
Like a A-team van or like an armored van or something, if they got it.
This Dontaku guy says we can get you a truck. I can't get you an armored truck, but
All right,
All right,
that
all right.
works.
Yeah, truck would work.
And Jack, I kind of pull him aside and whisper to him, if this vehicle is found anywhere on Dontaku, it's going to go on Dontaku property. It's going to cause a lot of trouble for Dontaku. Give some people upstairs ulcers.
Understood.
So, yeah, do we want to actually look at whatever the hell the cargo is in this thing? Do we want to know, or do we want to just deliver it?
No, I'm just the
Bob.
driver.
Bob. I see you shaking your head.
No, I don't need to look.
Molly,
You've got the manifest list. It seems like it would already be there.
you'd think, but it's not really clear. And I kind of passed the manifest list around, and it's like, does this make sense to any of us?
It's all like in code and stuff like that. Clearly trying to keep whatever this project is on the DL.
We don't need to know. Let's just go.
I mean, I'd rather not be delivering a bioweapon, but okay.
I mean, if you want to look at it and think you can determine it, feel free. I don't have a need to.
Nobody else is even just the slightest bit curious?
Nope.
I'm curious.
What the hell? Let's find out what it is.
You pop it open. Take a look at it. It's a big thing. Like it's a massive machine, and you will pry it open, and you will see that it is an advanced, very advanced, self-powered water filtration system, like high-end, high-capacity, like cutting edge. The kind of thing that if you put this in the barrio, will cut out corporation control of water supplies.
And I put my heads in my hand. I put my hand in my heads. My head in my hands. Guys. We can deliver this and we can make a handful of creds, or we can do a whole lot of good for a whole lot of people and just take the reputational hit. I mean, Squirrel, you're going to be fine. I mean, you streamed everything. But, I mean, I've been following that story for months now about the water pollution in the barrio and how kids are getting sick and they're getting cancer and they're dying because of the water, and how people are making these filtration systems out of sand and cheesecloth and chicken wire. And we can fix that.
We can fix it after we get paid. So this is my thought. What I'm really thinking here is we deliver it, get paid, but you're the reporter, right? So you bring in the attention, and then it can be swooped away after we get paid. See where I'm going with this? I mean, I've seen your shows. A lot of people follow you. Get the police in here. Not the police. Those protesters they ran over. They pay us, and then we scoot it out of there. Squirrel has control of it. He can drive it away. They'll just see the truck. It's not like they're going to instantly unload it. They'll pay us before they unload it off the truck. Squirrel keeps control. The rioters come in. The truck drives away. We're paid. Wasn't our fault. Some terrorist hacker took control of the truck. It wasn't Squirrel.
Lowell, where's my story clock at?
I think it's up pretty high. I mean, the reality of the situation. If you take this thing in and something goes wrong, the blame is going to be rightly or wrongly securely affixed to you guys for double crossing. You know that.
Dang.
Bob, you could probably snake your way out of that because you know how to talk your way out. But your friends, probably not so much.
All right, you're gonna take all my money. Darn it.
I mean, look at the bright side of things, Bob. If we do this, if we hand this device over to the right people in the bar, and I know who they are, you will never pay for a cup of coffee again. You will have a network of eyes and ears that's completely unparalleled in the city. You will be a goddamn hero. Squirrel, I mean, you...
No. It's okay. Charity stream.
That's my point. Like, you get to come out of this looking like a good guy, like a nice guy, as well as the hot shit driver. And Molly, I think that the best thing to do here is to just leave you out of it entirely so people still think you're dead.
So if you recall, Molly visited her ailing mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would make a lot of sense if she was sick from the water.
Mm.
And that's a reason. So Molly, quietly, normally she would be, you've never seen her turn her back on a job. And she would be like, we're getting paid. We're mercs, right? We're not going to screw around with this. And, she's kind of saying, she's kind of up in arms when you say, let's turn it over to the barrio and all of that. And then you say people are getting sick out there, and you see her kind of stop for a second and stutter. And then she goes in with you. Sure.
Jack, can you make this truck disappear in a way that it looks like Dentaku hit us as we were on the way to deliver it?
We can try.
Maybe plant a memo or two in the system.
And I think you guys are going to be able to take this off, but you don't go to get paid.
Yeah.
And I think we have to move to epilogues then. So let's cut forward. Let's hear what comes. What do we see with your characters in the immediate aftermath or a ways down the road? Molly, let's start with you.
Sure. So I think you can tell Molly is a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more scarred up. This has been a little while. And you see Molly go to kind of a mausoleum kind of place and walk up to, one of these little cubicle things. And you can see it kind of says, beloved mother on that cubicle thing. And Molly takes a glass of water and sets it there on top, and it's crystal clear. It's just looks delicious, and then turns and walks away.
Nice. Jace, what about you?
I think I got enough information to blame Dentaku for the initial problems with the water in the barrio.
Mm-hmm.
And that story caused a lot of anger. There were demonstrations, there were some near riots, a lot of Dentaku buildings were damaged, broken windows, convoys getting attacked, that sort of thing. Jack, in the meantime, sat in his corner office sipping some expensive scotch and just chuckling about it all. And I'm already moving on to the next story because there's always something else out there that needs to be fixed.
I like it. Squirrel, what about you?
So you get the shot from the ground where the like fender and wheel pull into view, and you can see that the bumper is all fucked, but it's painted fuchsia. and like Squirrel gets out and he's wearing this like god awful fuchsia and whatever green suit, and he goes and opens the back door and like a bunch of little girls come running out, and he like leans against the car and like something falls off.
We hear that punk 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 of the engine.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Bob, what do we see of Bob's epilogue there?
Well, Bob is walking out of the medical facility, and he just had his finger plas glued back on, and his arm is in a little flexible cast, but it's still like kind of immobilized. And he's just thinking about all the bills that are stacking up because it's like, wow, did that doctor need to charge that much? So he just walks off into the sunset, shaking his head, saying, one more job. Damn it. One more job.
Nice. And that's where we're going to stop. Thank you all very much for playing the Sprawl with me. I do dig it. It's got some rough bits, but for mission based, I think it's pretty fun. Any last thoughts from anybody? Any last comments before I stop the stream? Steven?
So if we were doing Roses and Thorns, I've thought about this a little bit. The Sprawl,
Sure.
I played it a couple of times, and to me, there's it's a little bit there's a little bit extra to it, in that whenever you take harm, you then roll the harm move in addition.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do something and get to the action, you hit the streets and you get the job, and then that takes like a session, and then the next session you do all the action. And maybe I'm just too spoiled with one shots.
Yes.
It's 1-2 kind of thing. This session though broke that, because this session it was, let's do a real quick, get the job and then hit the action. So that was a nice mix. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it is one of those games that playing it more, you would get a sense of, okay, how can we play with the pacing?
Yeah.
I think it is a game that you can do that with. I get you on that. Puckett, anything you want to say?
I always like playing games when you're a GM, but I had just an immense amount of fun with this game, particularly in this session where it's like, okay, it's the last session. My character can die. I'm okay with that. Let's do something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it just kept getting even more ridiculous and sillier and more awesome, like, cars flipping and all sorts of fun stuff. And I think in the previous sessions, we probably had to be at least a little bit more restrained because, do you really want to re-roll in the middle of like a 4-session thing? But the game's a little hinky at times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think tonight you really showed what it can do in 2.5 hours if you concentrate and focus and herd a bunch of cats that are trying to do increasingly silly things with machinery and whatnot. So this was a blast. Thank you all.
I appreciate all of you being willing to do the big action sequences too, because sometimes when you're playing, it can be a little, I get this when I'm playing, I can be a little cautious, but I love when people lean into this. I'm 110% on for action movie stuff. Kurt, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this was my first time playing the Sprawl, and it's definitely a pre-Blades game.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like it would have been a Forged in the Dark game if it came out 4 years later. But I had a great time. I mean, I love the way moves work, where you can just sort of do whatever you need and then let the dice decide. So like we got to do weird shit, like try to corkscrew a race car with machine guns on the front to shoot down a helicopter. It did feel, we got into a point where I felt bad for Bob. Like Bob didn't have enough to do. But I didn't know how to solve that problem on my own. Like usually in most games, there's a way to like push to get someone else to the spotlight, and I didn't know what I could do to do that. And
that's a really good point. It is one of the things is there's such a spread of playbooks that you can get into the missions, and if it's not keyed, the strengths are not keyed to that, it can be a problem. Like if we were doing infiltration, Bob's spotlight, and you're out in the car.
Yeah.
It is a hard choice. I think that is a classic problem with cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Though having played Cyberpunk 2020 and having been a net runner and sat on my ass for 3 hours in a session, so I've been there.
Well, I think that's actually part of the, having a session for getting the job and then having a session of action is so that the talkers have a session of their spotlight, and then the killers have a session of their spotlight, kind of thing. So that back and forth, I think, helps with that. However, it is difficult to get someone the spotlight.
Yeah. It is one of the missions book that Hamish Cameron has put out is pretty nice. It's some really nicely detailed missions. But one of the things I appreciate about it is at the start, he goes, this mission is really good for these playbooks. It is less good for these. And I appreciate that, because then you can, as a GM, go, okay, well, how do I make it better? What can I add in to solve that problem? Or does this fit for my group or not? Trey, thank you for asking to play this. Honestly, if you hadn't asked, I don't know if I would have brought the Sprawl up again for a while. So I appreciate you doing that.
Well, I really appreciate this. I feel like everybody carried me. Thank you. Definitely, I'm going to do more research into the specific rules. But like I said before, your game aids were awesome. And I really I like the flow of the game. I like that fact that you can kind of just make some stuff up and then let the dice roll determine if it was good for you or bad for you. Because that's just one of the deficiencies that I'm running into right now. Just the whole Shadowrun thing is like the crunch is just too much, and we really just end up either playing a certain style of game. So let's just abridge it and do it that way. So this was a lot of fun.
Good.
Enjoyed it. Thank you for running it. This was so great to actually get a game in with you.
Very much appreciate it. I hope to play with you again. That would be great.
I'll be more active. Finally coming out of hibernation.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. And we're trying to get more stuff Pacific time to make it easier for the West Coasties as best we can. All right. Well, thank you all very much. I'm going to stop the broadcast.